atheism. What is it? In this video, I'm going to help you understand what atheism is, and we're going to do that very basically by just analyzing the word, breaking down the word. But then I'm going to criticize the definition of atheism that we get when we just break down the word without thinking about what the word means. And so I will bring agnosticism out and clarify what that means so that we can better understand the huge difference between atheism and agnosticism so that we can really understand what atheism means. Let's get started. Let's start with analyzing the word atheism, and we will result in basically what you would get if you just did a quick search on the internet or opened up a dictionary and looked up the definition. To break down this word, we start with the prefix, which is what goes at the beginning of the word, and the suffix, what goes at the end, and that would help us understand what the word means. Oftentimes, you see ism at the end of the word, and that's telling you that it's a system of belief, that there's a set of ideas, and if you put them all together, that's the theory, that's the ism, that's the system that someone might subscribe to. The prefix a in English also helps us understand what the word means better, and a is a prefix that means without. Sometimes it could mean not, or the opposite of whatever comes next. So let's break down this word. A, if a means without or not, that means that atheism means without or not theism. So one way you can understand atheism is by starting with theism. You learn what theism means, and then you realize that atheism is just the opposite. That's one way you could do it. But what's the? What's the in atheism? Well, the in atheism is also super helpful in discovering what that word means. The comes from this word in Greek, theos. So you know, the word God in Spanish is Dios. The word God in Arabic is Allah. The word God in Farsi is Khoda. The word God in Greek is Theos. And that's the root of theism. That's the root of atheism. So what we've done so far is literally analyze the word, breaking down what it means. Atheism, a without, the is theos, God. Oops, let me just write God. It could also be plural. And ism, system of belief. So in theory, the definition of atheism is that it's a system of belief without God. A system of belief without God. Okay, not bad, but incomplete. So let's turn to the meaning of atheism so we can really understand what atheism means, because it's not merely a system of belief that doesn't have God in it. And to show you that, I want to back up a little bit and ask, what is atheism? Which is what this whole video is about. What is atheism? Atheism is an answer to a question. What question and what answer? The question here is, does God exist? And this way assumes that there's a singular God. I could have written, do gods, plural, exist? Same thing here. We're saying, is there such a thing as a supernatural deity that goes beyond space and time? And there's different answers that you can give. Atheism is an answer to the question whether God exists. So there's three major answers that you might give to this question about God's existence. If you say, no, God does not exist, then that's how you get called an atheist. An atheist is a certain person who does not believe in God. But let me show you why that's an incomplete answer. You might also say yes to this question, does God exist? If you say yes, that's how you get called a theist, typically, but you should just know that there's this other theory, deism. Oops, that's spelled wrong. deism is a theory that also believes in God. A theist and a deist both believe in God. So they both say, yes, there is a God. Unlike the atheist who does not believe in God. Okay? But think about this third category, which definitely exists, so we cannot ignore this person. What if the person says, I'm unsure, or I don't know, or I'm on the fence? I haven't agreed that God exists. There's not enough proof for me to say yes. I haven't agreed that there's no God. There's not enough proof for me to reject God. That person is called an agnostic person. An agnostic person is someone who does not reject God and does not accept God. Maybe because they're still skeptical and asking questions, or maybe because they don't care. Either way, they don't accept God, they don't reject God. So they get this third category for those people. Now, let's set this aside for a second. Revisit our basic definition of atheism that you would get if you just did a quick search. You would hear that atheism is the system of belief that doesn't have a God. Okay? Who is someone who doesn't believe in God? The agnostic and the atheist would satisfy that definition, which is why this is an incomplete definition of atheism. Atheism, it's true, doesn't believe in God, but it's more than that. It's more than agnosticism. Let's compare. Let's make a little chart where we have atheism, the atheist, and we have agnosticism, the agnostic. And let's ask who says yes and who says no to these following questions. Which of these lacks belief in God? The atheist lacks belief, and the agnostic lacks belief. So if your definition of atheism is that it's a system of belief that does not include God, then you've also just defined agnosticism, which means you're confusing them. It's an ambiguous definition. So we need something else. How about this? Which one of these rejects the existence of God? Says, no, there is no God. Only the atheist rejects God. An agnostic person does not reject God. They're unsure. They haven't made up their mind about God. An agnostic person does not reject God, but an atheist does reject God. So if you're looking up atheism, the definition you might quickly get is that it's a system of belief that doesn't have God. And that's not a great definition because atheism and agnosticism both satisfy that definition. A better definition for atheism is that it's a system of belief which intentionally rejects God. An atheist is someone who says, no, there is no God. The atheist has made up their mind about God. They've made up their mind that there is no God.